So welcome back, coders, and hope you are coding on, not giving up. So in this tutorial we're going to talk about the React hook use state. This is the React hook we are going to talk about in this tutorial. The use state. That's the React hook we are talking about. Now the React use state hook allows us to track state in a function component. So if we have a function component, the use state hook will allow us to keep track of that, the state. So state generally, what state means generally, it just refers to the data or properties that need to be tracked in an application. So if an application has some properties that need to be tracked, that is what state means. So to use this hook use state in a function component, what you're going to do, you need to first import it. So we shall just say import, then open our curly brackets, and say import use state. Then we import use state from React. So after importing our use state, now to use our use state or to initialize our use state. So now here we're going to talk about initializing the use state hook. So to initialize the use state hook, remember one of the rules of using hooks, it must be defined inside the function component. So we need to first define our function component. So say function, and then our function component, we're going to call it favorite, and call it favorite color. Now in the favorite color, we are now going to initialize our use state hook. To initialize our use state hook, we shall use const, then we shall say color, then set color. Now I'm going to explain what that means. So then we say it's equal to use state, and then open our brackets, and then inside here we define what our color or our state is. So we're going to define an empty string. Let me save. Now what this means, the const color set color, is that this use state is like a method. So this use state returns an array, or it returns two arguments, which is an array. So this method of declaring is destructuring according to ES6. If you already know what it is, then I don't need to explain. But for those who don't know, this method it's destructuring. So we are destructuring the array that is sent back by the use state. So the use state sends two arguments back. It sends the color, which I defined here, back, and then it sends a function set color, which helps to update the color variable. So after doing that, then let our function component return something. So what it should return, it should just return the h1 tag. It should return a h1 tag. So the h1 tag will just say my favorite color is, then whatever color has been defined as the state. So it will say my favorite color is, let me give it here a space, don't use capital letters, favorite color is, then I want to say color, because I already initialized my color variable. So my favorite color is that, in question mark. So after that, I have to render out my favorite color component. So I'll render out my favorite color component and save. So I'll go to my browser, seeing I'm having an error here. It's saying unterminated JSX content. So we have some unterminated JSX content. Let's go back and see where is our unterminated JSX content. So we have favorite color. Here we have equal to. Everything seems to be okay. Let's look here. So we have const root. Probably do this. Why isn't the const root highlighting here? Remove this and then paste that. Save. So our problem was here. We did not close that tag. So we can save. We come back here. Then everything should be okay. There's another error here. Can remove that and save. Everything should now be okay. Now it's saying my favorite color is, and it's not showing anything because the state here we just passed in an empty string. But if you pass in a color like red and then we set the state to red, here should say my favorite color is red. Now how do we update our state? So I'm going to create a button that updates our state from, probably is going to update our state from our red to blue. So to create the button to update our state from red to blue, let me just cut out this first. Then I'm going to create open my bracket so that I can write more code. So then I can put in my wrapper. After putting in my wrapper, I can put in that my favorite color is. Then after putting my favorite color is, then I'm going to now initialize create my button component, my button element. So my button element will just say blue. So if you click it, it will change it to blue. So it will just say blue. Then I'm going to close my button element. Then in my button element, I want to put in some attributes. So the attribute which I'm going to put is the type. So the type will just be the button. Then I'm going to now define the event handler. So the event handler will define his on click. So the on click will just equal to the function. It will take in my function. Then the function should be set color. So the function, this on click event will take in a function, and that function will, when that function runs, it will execute the set color function. And when it executes the set color function, it will change the set color function to red. So if I go back to my code, I can see my button has appeared. If I click blue, when I click blue, blue should be able to change. Blue should be able to change. So why isn't blue changing? Blue. Let's look at our code again. We have our function set color. Because I passed in red, that's why blue is not changing. I'm supposed to pass in blue. So when I pass in blue and I come back here and I click blue, blue will change. So I click blue, blue will change. So that is how you update. You update your state. So to update your state, you use this function set color, which will help you to update the state. Now, this state cannot only hold strings. It can hold strings. It can hold a boolean. Probably the boolean might be true. It could hold a boolean. Apart from holding a boolean, it can hold numbers like 1 or 10, not necessarily a string. It can also hold objects, which maybe may have something like maybe a brand, and the brand it has maybe Ford. It holds something like that. Brand. It can hold Ford. So it can hold what? Objects. It can hold booleans. It can hold numbers, strings, and any combination of it can hold any combination of the above. Now you can create multiple state hooks. So you don't necessarily have to create one state hook. So how can you do that to create multiple state hooks? So to create multiple state hooks, let's make a new component. So the component, I'm going to call it a car. It's going to be a car component. Now in the car component, it's going to return something. Let me put in my boiler code for returning. Then let me define my wrapper. So define my wrapper. After defining my wrapper, so now let me define my states. So I can define multiple states. So I can select my const. Then I'm going to define it should be a brand. And then the function to change the brand should be set brand. So as you can see, there's a syntax here. Usually the function that changes the state of a variable, it starts with state, then the name of that variable, set, then the name of that variable. That's like the conversion, but you could name that function anything. So you can, it will equal to use state. Then in the use state, I will pass in a string of my brand, which is Ford. So then I can create another state hook. So the state hook this time I'll call it a model. Then the function will be set model. Then it will equal to use state. Then in the use state, I will pass in a Mustang as my model. Then I can set another hook, and then the hook will be probably the year. Then I can say set year. There's a function to update the year. then I can say it is equal to useState. Then in the useState, I want to put the state to be 1964. So 1964. Then I can make another hook, and then the hook will be the color. Then I'll say set color. Then the color will equal to, I'll say useState, and the color will equal to red. So these are now my state hooks. So like you can create multiple state hooks. You don't necessarily have to create one state hook. Then inside here, my return, what I can do, I can create a h1 tag which prints out my brand. So I can say h1, closing the tag h1. Then what it will print out will be my. Then I can pass in my brand. Then I'm going to make a paragraph. Close my paragraph. Then in the paragraph, it will be it is, then then I'll pass in the color, then I'll pass in the model, then I'll say from, then I'll pass in the year. So then I'll have to render my car component. So I'll render my car component. So when I come here to my browser, you can see that it has printed out it is a red Mustang from 1964. So that is how you keep track of different states. Or instead of doing this, creating many states here, many hooks, you could create one, but then after creating the one, you would pass in what? You would pass in an object as the data in your state. So let me show you how that's done. So I can delete all this. So what I can do, I can create a new hook. So I'll call it car. The variable which it will set will say car. Then I can say set car. So after saying set car, I can equal to useState. Then from the useState, I'm going to pass in an object. Now in the object, that's why I can now define my brand. I can define my brand as Ford. Then I can define my model as Mustang. Then I can also define my year as 1964. Then I can also define my color as red. So after defining all that, so now that is my hook. My hook is now an object. It means that now here in returning the HTML code, I can now put a car.brand. Then here I'll put car.color. Then here I'll put car.model. Then here I'll also put car.year. So if I save, everything should remain the same. It's a red Mustang from 1964. So now updating, we're going to talk about how to update this object. So what if I want to now update something in this object, probably the color, the brand, or the model? So to do so, I'm going to put a function that updates, let's say, the color from red to blue. So to do that, I need to first create a button. When the person clicks the button, then that function is called. So I want to create the button. Then in the button, it's just going to say update, then color. Then I can close my button. Then in the button, the attributes I want to give the button are the type. I give the button the type attribute. So I give it the type attribute, and then the type of the button will be button. Then from the type attribute, I'll give it the on click. I'll give it the on click attribute. And the on click attribute will be update color. So that will be the function to which it points. So now I have to define my update color function. So to define my update color function, I'll come here, define my update color. So I'll say const. Then I'll say update color. Update color will equal to that. Then I'll return. Then I'll call my set car attribute. Then I will say maybe I want to update the color to blue. Now this is how maybe you may think that you're supposed to do this, but if you do this, if you say update color to blue, what it will do, it will just rewrite the whole object. So it means that brand model will be lost. So if I save this and I come back here, you can see that. Then I click update color, you can see everything has been lost, the brand, the model, only blue is there. So to go around this problem, we're going to use the spread operator in JavaScript. Now set char, you can pass in a function. So set char allows you to pass in a function. So let me do that. Set char allows you to pass in a function, and when you pass in a function in set char, this set char will be able to provide you with the previous state. So it will be able to provide you with the previous state. So when you pass in a function, it will provide you with the previous state. So after set char providing us with the previous state, what you can do, this function should be able to return our new object. So the new object it will return would be this. I would use the spread operator, and then I spread the previous state into our new object. Now when I spread the previous state into our new object, it means that brand, model, year, and color will all be spread here. Then when I make my color to change to blue, this color which was red, which was spread here, it would be updated. So if I save this and then I come back to my browser, I'm seeing an error here saying unexpected token. Where is my unexpected token? Let's see, previous state has to return something. Save, come back. So when you come back here, I think everything is now working well. So when you come back here and then we click blue, you can see that blue is now updated here. So if you refresh, it says red, we click blue, and blue is now updated. So that is how we can update the that's how we can update the object. That's how we can update the object. Now that is how useState works, the useState hook. So the useState hook is just that simple. You import it, then you use it, but remember you need to define it at the top level of your component, and the useState keeps track of the state, and the state is just the property you need to keep track in your application. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Keep on coding. Thank you for watching.